In a world that feels chaotic, unpredictable, and often absurd, how do we find meaning? This question has haunted humanity for centuries. From philosophers to everyday individuals, we've all wrestled with the notion that life might not have a clear purpose. And yet we can't help but seek it. In stories, we are accustomed to the hero's journey, a narrative where heroes are chosen, where they're guided by a clear destiny, and where every step leads them closer to their purpose. But life, real life, doesn't often follow such a neat script. What if, instead of a grand destiny, we're all on what I like to call an unheroic journey? A path where meaning isn't given to us, but must be created, step by step, choice by choice, in the midst of chaos. Today, we're going to explore what it means to live this unheroic journey, where the act of finding meaning in an absurd world may actually be the hardest and most heroic quest of all. The Absurd Reality, Albert Camus and Sisyphus. Albert Camus, the philosopher of the absurd, believed that life has no inherent meaning. In his famous work, The Myth of Sisyphus, he uses the image of a man condemned to push a boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down for eternity. At first glance, this seems like the epitome of futility. But Camus argued that in this endless struggle, we can actually find meaning. He writes, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy. The happiness, the purpose, doesn't come from achieving some grand goal, but from the sheer act of persistence in the face of absurdity." Now, think about our own lives. How many times do we wake up, go to work, tackle the same problems day after day, wondering what it's all for? Yet even in these routines, we are constantly creating meaning for ourselves, by pushing forward, by choosing to care. The absurdity of life doesn't rob us of meaning. It merely shows that meaning isn't handed to us. It's something we create, and that's where the true journey begins. The evolution of heroism, from myth to social media. If we look back at mythology, we see that heroes were often reserved for an elite class. They were gods, demigods, kings. These heroes had destinies, and their stories were meant to inspire. But they also felt distant from the average person. Fast forward to today. With social media and technology at our fingertips, everyone has the ability to present their own hero's journey, their own version of a life of purpose, adventure, and success. We see people filming themselves, curating their lives, showing their victories to the world. Everyone becomes the hero of their story, with a spotlight waiting to shine on them. But this creates an immense pressure, a pressure to do more, to be more, to have grander adventures, bigger achievements, and to constantly prove ourselves. The quest for meaning turns into a spectacle, often superficial, often exhausting. It's in this modern age of endless comparison and performance that we need to ask ourselves, what does it really mean to live a meaningful life? Is it about the number of followers, the accomplishments on display, or is it something deeper, something quieter? The power of embracing the unheroic. I'd argue that the most powerful journey isn't always the one filled with glory. Sometimes it's the quiet, unremarkable journey that carries the deepest meaning. The unheroic journey is about embracing the small things. It's about finding significance in daily moments, in small victories, in relationships, and in the challenges no one else sees. In a world where we're bombarded with images of grandeur and success, it takes a certain strength to embrace the unheroic, to realize that it's okay to live a life that isn't constantly on display. There's courage in waking up every day, making small but meaningful choices, and living for something greater than external validation. This journey, this quiet, personal quest, is where many of us will find the most profound sense of purpose. It's about humility. It's about accepting that life doesn't have to be epic to be meaningful. And it's about finding happiness in the small, steady steps that lead us forward. Storyfying Our Reality, the universal need for stories. Humans have always needed stories. From the earliest cave paintings by Neanderthals to the hieroglyphs of Egypt, storytelling has been our way of making sense of the world. We told stories to explain the unknown, to understand ourselves, and to connect with one another. And today, we still tell stories, though now many of them happen online, through social media or movies, or even through the narratives we build in our own minds. But just as we create stories, we also live by them. We find meaning in the narratives we craft about ourselves and our lives. Whether it's the story of a career, a family, a journey of self-discovery, or a series of small everyday victories, these stories shape who we are and how we understand the world. The need for stories is universal, but what we must remember is that each of our stories matters. Not all of us will be the epic hero slaying the dragon. For most of us, the dragons we face are internal: doubt, fear, uncertainty, and the story we tell about overcoming those is just as important. The challenge of the unheroic journey. In many ways, the unheroic journey is harder than the traditional hero's journey. Think about it. The classic hero has a prophecy, a mentor, a path laid out for them. There's a sense that their story is already written and they just need to follow it. But in the unheroic journey, we're the ones writing the story. There's no map, no grand destiny awaiting us. Instead, we must create meaning in the face of uncertainty. We must choose our direction in a world that doesn't offer clear answers. This freedom is both a gift and a burden. It means that we can shape our lives in whatever way we choose, but it also means that we bear the full responsibility of finding meaning in a world that doesn't provide it. It's in this act of creating meaning, of choosing purpose despite the absurdity, that true heroism lies. And while the unheroic journey may not be as glamorous, it's often far more courageous. Why heroes' journeys reflects multiple paths, and that's why the name of this channel, Heroes' Journeys, reflects more than just one kind of journey. There are many heroes and there are many kinds of paths. Some journeys are epic, filled with action, adventure, and visible triumphs. Others are quieter, more internal, focusing on personal growth, resilience, and small but meaningful changes. But all of these journeys matter. On this channel, we're here to shine a light on all these different types of journeys, big and small, epic or internal. Because in life, every one of us has a path to walk, and each one is worthy of recognition. Whether you're climbing mountains or quietly facing your fears, whether you're building a career or nurturing relationships, your journey is valid and your story deserves to be told. Finding strength in the unheroic journey. In the end, the unheroic journey isn't lesser. It's perhaps the most powerful journey of all, because it's ours to shape. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of finding meaning in the absurd. I invite you to reflect on your own unheroic journey. What small victories are you proud of? What meaning have you created for yourself, even when the world seems chaotic? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content each week. Together, we'll continue exploring all the heroes' journeys that life has to offer.